I'm starting to think that the computer lives to hurt my feelings, okay? I thought that I played a brilliant chess game, to be honest. I thought I played a brilliant chess game. Then you put it on the computer, and all of a sudden, it was not that brilliant. Well, I'm not going to say it wasn't that brilliant, but all of a sudden you put it on the computer, and you actually made a blunder? What is this about, computer? What is your beef with me? What is the engine's beef with me? I thought I played a brilliant game. I thought that was a brilliant move, and it turned out to be a blunder. Guys, without further ado, let's take a look at the game, and let's see what am I talking about, because clearly the chess bots have beef with me. I open up with the move d4. My opponent plays the move d5. I play the move bishop to f4. We get the move knight to c6. We're developing our pieces here. I play the move e3. My opponent develops his light square bishop. I play the move knight at b to d2. My opponent plays the move e6. I develop my knight to f3. My opponent walks forward with his knight and puts it on e4. I play the move bishop to b5, pinning my opponent's knight to his king. My opponent responds with the move knight captures d2. So of course my queen has to catch her back on d2. My opponent plays the move a6. I put my bishop on a4. My opponent plays the move b5. I then put my bishop on b3, and then my opponent plays this move bishop to e4, threatening my knight on f3. And I didn't really feel like, playing with a bad king size structure here. So although I can play with that structure, I just didn't feel like it this game. So I played a move bishop to d1, which is a beautiful move because later on my bishop is going to develop to f3, and I know that. My opponent then plays this move knight to a5, and then I get castle. My opponent then brings his knight on the square c3. I put my queen on e2. My opponent develops his dark square bishop. Then I make this move knight to e5. My opponent takes with his bishop. I trade his good bishop. My opponent captures my bishop, and then I capture the knight with my pawn. Then my opponent makes this move queen to g5. Now guys, this is a very, very important position because in the game I was considering the move f3, but I was just like, I don't know. So ultimately I decided to play the move f4. But after the game, reviewing this game with my coach, he explained to me why f3 was important to play first, because that removes the bishop, followed by the move f4, and then make the queen move back somewhere. So guys, I could have played f3 followed by f4. That was the more accurate way to play this position. But guys, this is all just really great stuff to learn as I prepare for the biggest chess tournament of my life, which is just 1 week, 7 days away, guys, and I could not be more excited. It's games like this that helps me improve my chess. My opponent then plays the move queen to g6, and then I play this move queen to d2. My opponent plays the move a c5, walking forward with these pawns. I develop my bishop like I said I would onto the square f3. My opponent backs her bishop up here. I should clearly play the move e4. Not sure why I didn't play it. I played the move rook a to d1. My opponent then makes the move bishop to e4. I play the move queen to f2. Look at me, guys. I'm just playing one of the 3 top computer recommended moves in almost every move here. I guess the computer and I, we do see eye to eye sometimes. But I play the move queen to f2. My opponent plays this move a5. He's just gonna walk. He's just walking these pawns forward, and I'm just ignoring him. I'm like, where is he going with these pawns? So I play the move queen to e2, looking at this free pawn here, baiting him into playing the move c4. c4 is a terrible positional move, because again, you got all these pawns on light squares with the light square bishop, so your bishop is horrible. I then play the move rook to d4, giving myself a square for the rook. But apparently this is a blunder according to the engine, because my opponent gets this move bishop to d3, and this is the move that he played in the game. But guys, after he played bishop to d3, I'm going to move my queen to d2, and even though he's going to win a rook and I'm going to get a bishop, guys, I was so completely unbothered here. I didn't feel like I was losing at all. So for the computer to tell me that this was a blunder, I know that I just lost material, and material is real. But look at where his king is, and then he has a rook hanging on a8, and then he has a rook hanging on h8. I didn't think it was like a blunder how the computer is saying it, but apparently it was a blunder. But guys, let's see what happens. My opponent then plays the move f6. I immediately cut. My opponent cuts, and then I play this move e4, and then my opponent cuts. I take back with the bishop. Again, guys, look at this hanging piece. And then my opponent makes this terrible move e5, asking my rook a question. So right now your rook is already being attacked because it's hanging on the a8 square, and then I'm going to ask your queen a question with my rook. My opponent take my f4 pawn. I take his queen. He takes my queen, and I pick up my rook. That's why I didn't understand how it was a blunder. I thought it was more like a gambit, like you get material, but now I get to get at this rook that was hanging on a8, and then this hanging rook on h8, and your king here in the center of the board. I thought I had compensation for the material, but apparently, according to the engine, it was a blunder. I guess. I don't know why the computer got beef. I don't know what these bots be thinking. Like, for real, for real. I like my position. So I take on A8. My opponent finally gets castle, but unfortunately for him, it is just too late. Because I'm going to play the move bishop to C6, making my opponent pawn move forward. I'm going to cut the pawn. My opponent cuts back. Then I'm going to call check. Where you going with that king? You only got one square to go. And then I'm going to take another pawn. My opponent then plays the move F3. I cut. My opponent cuts. And then I attack my opponent rook. And now my opponent has no choice but to go backwards, because if you go anywhere laterally or not back to F8 period, you're going to get back rank made it here. So my opponent, of course, plays the move rook to F8, and then I play the move rook to B6, and then we get the move rook to E8 played, the king moves over to D3, rook to D8 played, the king moves over to C2, then my opponent plays rook back to F8, and then I play the move king to B3 here, and in this position, my opponent simply resigns, because after I don't know, what's he going to do? Is he going to check me or something? I'm just going to pick up the pawn, and then he's dealing with these back rank issues, and guys, he is just down entirely too much material. So guys, I just don't know the computer's beef with me, right? Because after like C4, I was really happy with this position. I thought strategically my opponent was busted. You got the bad bishop, and you got free pieces all around the board. You got a king in the center of the board. I'm gonna get over there to that. So even though rook to D3, I saw this pin here. I saw the bishop to D3 pin after I made the move. I didn't know it was that bad. I didn't find it to be a complete blunder, okay? The bishop took, I took, but I have a significant amount of counterplay, so I don't know. But yeah, apparently it was a blunder. The computer got beef with me, ladies and gentlemen, but I was able to pull it out. My opponent plays F6, and I'm just going to get to that king, right? Slowly but surely, I'm going to get to that king and that counterplay that I was talking about. And that's exactly what I did here, because he's going to take, we're going to exchange queens, and I'm going to get that piece. And then just run you off the board. I'm going to take all your pawns, okay? Take all your pawns, and just play the game in such a way that it forces my opponent to resign. Thank you guys so much for taking a look at this game with me, and I will see you in the next one.